This is a stimulus check update and daily news report. Got a lot of different stimulus check programs to share with you, and one deadline going on today. I'll go over this article. Americans have until today to sign up for $1,400 stimulus checks. Make sure you don't miss out. And this one, new tax credit checks worth $1,000 to go out to 200,000 households. Are you eligible? And this article, Kamala Harris slammed for lying after proposing $2,000 stimulus checks for every month of COVID as bills still due. Also, I'll go over the latest of what's going on with the Build Back Better. I'll share with you a really good video clip that came out of a debate between two Republicans, one for it, one against it, debating live in this video clip. Don't want to miss that, and I'll give you some other important updates as well. Hope you're having a fantastic Friday and a happy New Year's Eve to you. If you appreciate the fact-based, fast-paced updates, hit the like button down below. So Times Square, New Year's Eve is on. Mayor says New York City reports highest single-day case total yet. So 15,000 crowd of fully vaccinated people is a quarter of the typical group that celebrates New Year's Eve in Times Square, but the plan is still on even as New York City set a single day record of COVID cases on Thursday. So 15,000, usually there's around 60,000. Everyone's fully vaccinated, they have to wear masks. And to be honest, I think that the New Year's Eve overnight type of thing is a little overrated. So quick side story, I used to be an extra in TV shows, movies, and commercials when I was living in New York City. And I was an extra on the movie New Year's Eve, which I think came out in 2012. So I actually had to stand out in the crowd. They gave us the little glasses, the hats, all the New Year's gear, and had to stay out overnight in 20-degree weather while they were filming the New Year's Eve shot, just pretending like it was New Year's Eve. It wasn't actual New Year's Eve. So after that, I realized I never want to do New Year's Eve in Times Square. So just quick side story. When it comes to COVID cases, looks like we're hitting record highs here. So yesterday, 582,000 cases. Believe that's the highest yet. It's going to make all these other upticks over here look like little mounds. And when it comes to other countries, France tightens COVID rules, makes masked mandates outdoors in Paris. So in Paris, everyone has to wear a mask outside and inside, and looks like Europe in general is getting a lot more strict with it. Also, FDA plans to allow 12 to 15-year-olds to receive Pfizer boosters. So it looks like they're giving that third shot to young ones. And, I don't know, in Israel, they're rolling out a fourth booster shot. Now, with all of the rising cases in COVID and Omicron, a lot of people are wondering what's going on with stimulus checks. Could we get more? So there is a stronger call for stimulus checks. So calls for stimulus checks strong amid high inflation and Omicron spread. So as Omicron is increasing, a lot of people are wondering, are there going to be stimulus checks? I'll go over the latest stimulus check articles now. So over 800,000 stimulus checks worth $1,100 were sent out yesterday. Who gets them? So this is in California. So 800,000 checks were sent out to California residents yesterday, collectively $575 million. So it's $500 or $600 for individuals, an extra $500 for families, and the checks are going out until December 31st, which is today. So it looks like California stimulus checks still going out. Now, I mentioned this, the emergency broadband program. There has been a change to it. So you can see up here, beginning December 31st, consumers can apply for the Affordable Connectivity Program. So this is the new site here, new terms and everything. Looks exactly the same, but it's actually acpbenefit.org, and it's called Affordable Connectivity Program, not emergency broadband anymore. So you could still apply for this. Instead of $50 a month, it's $30 a month, and it goes on until March 1st, and you can still get $100 for a laptop, tablet, or desktop computer, a discount on that. So still going on. You could get $190 out of this program if you want to get some free internet, or maybe not free internet, discounted internet and a discounted laptop. Also, this one, stimulus update. How much stimulus money will you get in 2022? According to this article, talking about the $1,400 stimulus checks for anyone who had a child in 2021, and some parts are going to receive only part of their expanded child tax credit, so you get the other half of your child tax credit. And then it talks about the child tax credit being expanded and extended. We don't know if that's going to happen yet. So just this article talking about basically for people with kids. When it comes to the $2,000 per month to every American petition for a fourth stimulus check, a general fourth stimulus check, it's currently at 2,995,000 signatures so far. Not going to hit 3 million by New Year's, which is today, but probably by next week it'll hit 3 million. When it comes to this one, Americans have until today to sign up for $1,400 stimulus checks. Make sure you don't miss out. So this is for plus-up payments. If your income was high in 2019 and decreased in 2020 and you haven't filed your taxes yet, you have today, December 31st, to file your taxes to get a portion of the $1,400 stimulus check, or even the whole thing if your income was really high. So that only really affects a small amount of people. And this article I thought was really interesting. Came across this. Kamala Harris slammed for lying after proposing $2,000 stimulus checks for every month of COVID as bills still due. So this happened before Kamala Harris became the vice president. In a tweet of May of 2020, she said, "I'm proposing $2,000 monthly payments throughout the pandemic and for 3 months after that because rent and bills are still due during this crisis and people are going hungry." So different tune, May 2020 during the campaign trail compared to now. So I think a lot of people are asking Kamala Harris, Bernie Sanders, President Biden, as well as a few other Democrats, what happened to those $2,000 per month monthly checks? Well, it looks like they didn't really go anywhere. As soon as office was taken by President Biden, a lot of different stimulus promises just kind of fell by the wayside. They didn't really go anywhere. So a lot of people commented back on that, saying if this actually happened, then I wouldn't be looking at possibly getting kicked out of my apartment next month. Gee, thanks a lot. So yeah, it looks like the $2,000 per month stimulus checks not happening. We haven't had any support from any Congress members as of recent to do so. Also, this one, new tax credit checks worth $1,000 to go out to 200,000 households. Are you eligible? So this is just going out to low-income Connecticut residents, could be eligible to receive the checks. So basically what's going on here is, for example, a single parent of 2 at the federal poverty level who received a $1,246 state credit in the spring will now receive an extra $1,000. Also, if you don't have kids, you still get this too. It's the Earned Income Tax Credit. We have a federal one and then we have state ones. Some states are giving more of a tax credit than other states. So in Connecticut, with that example, you get an extra $1,000. This is according to the governor, which came out. Yeah, those are all the stimulus check articles. And then Democrats aim to tackle Build Back Better plan, Fed nominations, and China bill as 2022 midterms loom. So now we're going to start to see a different narrative come out because the elections and campaign season is about to start for 2022, and it's all about the Democrats and Republicans trying to have the majority in Congress, both the House and the Senate. So we're going to see a different tone here. We may even see an uptick in stimulus check promotion as we did with the last campaign. Doesn't mean it's going to happen, but we may see more of a promotion of stimulus checks. Now, Democrats are trying to tackle a lot. They may bite more than they could chew, because we saw what happened when they had the Build Back Better plan, the government shutdown, government debt ceiling funding, as well as NDAA and a few other things going on. They had a lot of priorities, and Build Back Better just kind of took the back burner. So we'll see about all these promises that Democrats are making. Here is a video clip of 2 Republicans actually arguing, one for Build Back Better, one against Build Back Better. Take a look at this clip right here.
As we get ready to ring in the new year, let's find out what's in store for your money on the corner of Wall Street and Washington. Joining us now, 2 men that have been on the political front lines. Mick Mulvaney, former acting White House Chief of Staff and former U.S. Special Envoy to Northern Ireland. He was also the former OMB director under President Trump. And Anthony Scaramucci, founder and co-managing partner of Skybridge Capital and a CNBC contributor. Anthony, I'm just going to let you take it away, and I'll sit here with a bag of popcorn.
Okay, thanks so much. Mick, let's go to Build Back Better. What's your thoughts there on Build Back Better?
That's terrible. I know you guys on Wall Street absolutely love it because inflation, listen, if you already own assets, inflation is great. But if we continue to throw more money into this economy without loosening up the way to get goods and services into the market, you're going to see nothing but a straight impact on inflation. I also know folks in Wall Street love this change in the SALT deduction that's part of Build Back Better. But I got to tell you, I don't think America cares much about the $900 e-bike benefit or the $1 billion for salmon. I think it's another example of the Democrats being out of touch with who they say they are supposed to represent. Are they going to pass something? Yes. Is it going to be good for the country? I really don't think so.
Okay, so I caught a little bit of ad hominem there when you were attacking Wall Street, but I won't take that personally. I'm a big fan of Build Back Better.
I didn't mention the fact that you were only there for 11 days, so... Yeah.
Well, at least you said 11 days, Mick. Some people say 10, and it hurts my feelings. But let's go to the Build Back Better for a second. We both see the problem, the socioeconomic problem in the country between middle and lower income people and the struggle going on. I grew up in a blue-collar, aspirational working-class family. So many of these people are now desperational. Build Back Better is creating a platform of equal opportunity. It's not about socialism. It's not about equal outcomes. But it's about improving the economic situation for the lower half of the country. And for me, the government has blunt instruments. We've got to do something. I think this is a good program.
Yeah. Anthony, I hear you, but look, if you really wanted to help the lower middle class, why wouldn't you go back to doing what Trump was doing? I think you and I both agree that the tax policy changes, the economic growth that came from that, encouraging more people to come back into the workforce, that was the way to help the middle class. A predominant part of the benefits from the Trump policies actually went to the bottom two-fifths, bottom two quintiles in the economy. Those are the policies that actually work. Whenever the Democrats get in and try and spend a lot of money, guys like you and me benefit. I just don't think that's fair.
All right, well, we don't have enough time to argue over where the tax filtrated, but the bottom line is I think we're both going to agree that the educational system, the K through 12 educational system in the country is uneven. It needs to be fixed. There's a whole host of issues for young children that are growing up in poverty. Needs to be fixed, Mick. We've got to do something. So I predict something will happen. Something is better than nothing. And yes, Wall Street does like it because Wall Street sees GDP growth. Remember, Goldman Sachs said minus 1% on GDP, from 3 to 2 if Build Back Better doesn't happen.
Anthony, I think we can agree on this, which is Biden has been hurt by the fact he hasn't passed this, and it might impact whether or not he chooses to run again. Of course, there's a lot of things that go into that, not just one particular piece of legislation. You and I have talked a good bit. I think we disagree on whether or not we think Trump is going to run again in 2024. Why don't you tell us what you think about that first?
Well, I think he wants to run again, and certainly he's making a lot of money, raising money from people that are buying into his lies and things like that. But ultimately, I think he's going to be tarnished, Mr. Mulvaney, by the January 6th committee and other criminal investigations that are going on that are going to prohibit the former president, from running again. That's not to say he's going to go to jail. I don't think we're in a society where we're going to jail our former political leaders. But I do think that these speed bumps will be such where he won't run again. What do you think, Mick?
Part of me wants to agree with you that he doesn't want to run. He didn't really like being the president. Look, he was already rich and famous and powerful beforehand, and he didn't really like the job. But I got to tell you, I think he's going to run for a couple of different reasons. Number one, most of the people around him stand to benefit. When you're the president, even an ex-president, you rely heavily on those people who are sort of your inner circle of advisors. And the only people left are the people that can only make a living if Donald Trump stays in the forefront. And they stand to make tens of millions of dollars personally if Donald Trump runs for president. They need him. They need that cash cow to run for president. So I think he's going to be hearing again and again, Mr. President, you should do this. Mr. President, you should do this. If there's one reason he doesn't run, I haven't heard anybody talk about this, it's that the RNC is actually picking up a lot of his legal expenses in his New York State cases. And if he declares to run for president, he has to turn that off. And I'd be curious to wonder whether or not that changes his opinion or whether or not he runs. But I'm in the camp that think he does run just because it's the one piece of advice he's getting from everybody on his inner circle.
What are your thoughts on that? So Scaramucci used to be the White House chief of staff right under former President Trump, and he's actually supporting the Build Back Better bill, which is kind of surprising, although Wall Street does benefit a lot from those type of bills. But what are your thoughts on that? Let me know down in the comments below. And that is all the stimulus news that I have for you today to hopefully brighten your day a bit. Here's my daughter Bella's tip of the day.
Hi guys, this is Bella. This is the tip of the day. I want to tell you one thing that you should do. When you want to do something, you have the power to do whatever you want. Unless, one thing, you believe in yourself. That's the only trick. So that's all I wanted to tell you for today. Bye. This is the Bella.
Thank you so much for watching. Appreciate your support. So I want to give a shout out to my wife, Christine. She made this orange juice. She's actually off today and it came out really good. She actually cut up the oranges, squeezed them, juiced them, and yeah, it's a really good orange juice. And for New Year's Eve, we're just gonna be low key. We're not going out anywhere. So I don't know. Let me know. What are your plans for New Year's Eve? Are you just chilling at home? Are you doing anything fun? Not sure what the fun there is to do nowadays, but also we have a 3 and 8-year-old, so we don't really go out anyway. But anyways, let me know what you're doing for New Year's Eve. If you want to check out my latest video, you could click up here, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care, be safe. Thank you for watching.